Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. Recently, boxer Floyd Mayweather made some statements about Black Lives Matter. I will include a link to that video in the description box so that you can watch it for yourself. But in that video, he talked about how all lives matter. He said that people are saying that Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, and then he goes on to say, well, all lives matter. And then he talks about how people should follow directions, follow orders. And he further talks about how when people are in trouble, they contact the police. And he said that there's wrong on both sides. And he was asked about Colin Kaepernick's protest. And in response, he says that Kaepernick needs to worry about getting the starting job. And then he talked about how he can't knock the protests. He said that obviously he's doing something right because his jersey is selling and all that kind of stuff. Now, in response to those comments, rapper T.I. made his own response on Instagram. He said, "Yo, Floyd Mayweather." And then he goes on to talk about how this is socially irresponsible, inconsiderate, and insensitive. It mirrors delusional oblivion in a way only brainwash tactics can achieve. This completely undermines and discredits the movements that fight for the plights of our people. He says, you are a leader, whether you know it or not. And then it goes on about how personal possessions and individual achievement shouldn't cause somebody to lose sight of things that are much larger and more important, like freedom, equality, justice, human rights, quality of life, etc. So those are his response. That's his response to Mayweather's comments. And I just want to take some time to talk about this briefly. I think that it's important what T.I. did. It's important that these public figures speak out about police brutality. It's important because they have a huge platform. When these people talk, whether it's good or bad, people are listening. So I think that it's very important that this brother spoke up and he basically checked Mayweather. And I think that's a good thing. But I also think that it's kind of troubling that this brother, I think that people can be redeemed despite what they have done in the past. Despite what they have done in the past. But it's worth noting that T.I. put out all this music celebrating violence, celebrating drug dealing, celebrating killing and all this and that. And I hope that the brother is turning over a new leaf. I hope that he is going in a different direction. Because if you have songs about killing people, if you have songs that promote violence and all that kind of stuff, it's hard for people to take you seriously when you talk about police brutality because you are perpetuating brutality in your community with the negative messaging that you're putting out here. So I hope this brother is evolving beyond where he was at one point in his career because I saw his recent video about police brutality and I think that that was a powerful video. And I hope this brother moves in that direction, stays in that direction with more socially conscious music. I think that's a great development because that video is powerful. The video shows black officers killing white people. And through that example, hopefully it awaken white people in this country, some white people to this situation of police brutality. Perhaps if they see themselves as victims, perhaps they'll wake up. Some of them. So, yeah, I think that it's important that this brother spoke up. And I just want to deconstruct some of this stuff this guy, Floyd Mayweather, said, all lives do not matter. All lives don't matter. Black lives do not matter in this country. That's the only reason why you have a movement saying that Black lives matter, because they are demanding that Black lives matter. You can't say that Black lives matter when Black people are being killed by these police every other day and there's no justice in sight. You can't say that all lives matter when the brother Eric Garner was choked to death live on camera and there was no justice. The only person tried and convicted was the person who captured the incident on video. You can't say that all lives matter when a brother has his hands up and he's lying on the ground and the police shoot at this brother anyway. And when asked why did they do it, they said they don't know. You can't tell me that all lives matter when Walter Scott was gunned down, shot in his back multiple times while he was running away, unarmed. You can't tell me all lives matter. Floyd Mayweather just needs to wake up. And it's not simply a matter of following directions and orders. Obviously, people should listen to the police. They shouldn't resist the police. They shouldn't argue with the police. But we can't pretend like this whole problem of police brutality is just a result of what Black people are doing wrong. The problem of police brutality has been with us since the beginning of the police department, since the police were first created. So this is not about people behaving their way out of oppression. Because often, like in that one example that I cited, when the brother was laying on the ground with his hands up, he was following orders. He was following directions. He even went above and beyond following directions to be even more compliant. But that didn't matter. They still shot that brother. Just like they shot that brother the other day who had his hands up and who was walking away from the police. They shot that brother in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shot him dead while his hands were in the air and he didn't pose any kind of threat. So don't tell me that this is about following directions and orders. And then this guy went on to talk about how Kaepernick needs to be worried about getting a starting job, when the fact of the matter is the brother already is a starter. And beyond that, some things are about more than personal achievement, individual achievement, individual advancement, individual competition. Some things are more important than that. Things like freedom, just like T.I. said, freedom, justice, and equality. That's more important than how many dollars somebody can earn, how many gold chains and fancy cars and fancy houses somebody can purchase. It's more important than that. And I'm not surprised by any of this. I'm not surprised that Mayweather would say something like this. This is a man who whined about his idea that he shouldn't give anything to Africa. So yeah, those are my thoughts about this situation. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.